Alms by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Read for LibriVox.org by Shakira Searle. December 2014. My heart is what it was before, a place where people come and go. But it is winter with your love, the sashes are beset with snow. I light the lamp and lay the cloth, I blow the coals to blaze again. But it is winter with your love, the frost is thick upon the pane. I know a winter when it comes, the leaves are listless on the boughs. I watched your love a little while, and brought my plants into the house. I water them and turn them south, I snap the dead brown from the stem. But it is winter with your love, I only tend and water them. There was a time I stood and watched the small, ill-natured sparrows fray. I loved the beggar that I fed, I cared for what he had to say. I stood and watched him out of sight. Today I reach around the door and set a bowl upon the step. My heart is what it was before, but it is winter with your love. I scatter crumbs upon the sill and close the window, and the birds may take or leave them as they will. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Ballad of Christmas-boxes by F. Ritchie. Read for LibriVox.org by Garth Burton. They gather like the birds of prey that scent the carnage in the air, while yet the wintry morn is grey, the foremost of the band appear. And all day long the quiet square re-echoes with their single knocks. They fill my troubled heart with care, for all demand a Christmas box. Here is the milkman, here are they, a dingy but facetious pair, who say they cart the dust away. Here comes the sweep, and in his rear the fiend who brings her skill to bear on spoiling shirts and losing socks. The butcher, baker, all are here, and all demand a Christmas box. I've all my monthly bills to pay, I've not a single cent to spare. I walk to business all the way, to save an 18-penny fare. I've scarce a decent coat to wear, my daughters clamour for new frocks, the coal cellar is almost bare, yet all demand a Christmas box. Fortune, or fate, or whosoe'er dost rule the rise and fall of stocks, the game so far is scarcely fair. I, too, demand a Christmas box. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Ballad of Christmas Ghosts by Andrew Lang. Read for LibriVox.org by Garth Burton. Between the moonlight and the fire, in winter twilights long ago, what ghosts we raised for your desire, to make your merry blood run slow! How old, how grave, how wise we grow! No Christmas ghost can make us chill, save those that troop in mournful row, the ghosts we all can raise at will. The beasts can talk in barn and byre on Christmas Eve, old legends know. As, year by year, the years retire, we men fall silent then I trow. Such sights hath memory to show, Such voices from the silence thrill, Such shapes return with Christmas snow, The ghosts we all can raise at will. Oh, children of the village choir, Your carols on the midnight throw, Oh, bright across the mist and mire, Ye ruddy hearths of Christmas glow. Beat back the dread, beat down the woe, Let's cheerily descend the hill. Be welcome all to come or go, The ghosts we all can raise at will. Friend, sursum corda, soon or slow We part, like guests who've joyed their fill. Forget them not, nor mourn them so, The ghosts we all can raise at will. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Dance of Death by Charles Baudelaire. Read for LibriVox.org by Chris Pyle. Carrying bouquet and handkerchief and gloves, proud of her height as when she lived, she moves with all the careless and high-stepping grace in the extravagant courtesan's thin face. Was slimmer waist e'er in ballroom wooed? Her floating robe in royal amplitude palls in deep folds around a dry foot, shod with a bright flower-like shoe that gems the sod. The swarms that hum about her collar bones, as the lascivious streams caress the stones, conceal from every scornful jest that flies her gloomy beauty, and her fathomless eyes are made of shade and void. With flowery sprays her skull is wreathed artistically and sways, feeble and weak, on her frail vertebrae. O charm of nothing decked in folly! They who laugh and name you a caricature, they see not, they whom flesh and blood allure, the nameless grace of every bleached bare bone that is most dear to me, tall skeleton. Come you to trouble with your potent sneer the feast of life? Or are you driven here to pleasure's Sabbath by dead lusts that stir and goad your moving corpse on with a spur? Or do you hope, when sing the violins and the pale candle flame lights up our sins, to drive some mocking nightmare far apart, and cool the flame hell lighted in your heart? Fathomless well of fault and foolishness, eternal alembic of antique distress, still o'er the curved white trellis of your sides the sateless wandering serpent curls and glides. And truth to tell, I fear lest you should find among us here no lover to your mind. Which of these hearts beat for the smile you gave? The charms of horror please none but the brave. Your eyes' black gulf, where awful broodings stir, brings giddiness. The prudent reveler sees, while a horror grips him from beneath, the eternal smile of 32 white teeth. For he who has not folded in his arms a skeleton, nor fed on graveyard charms, recks not of furbelow or paint or scent, when horror comes the way that beauty went. O irresistible with fleshless face, say to these dancers and their dazzled race, proud lovers with the paint above your bones, ye shall taste death, musk-scented skeletons. Withered Antinous, dandies with plump faces, ye varnished cadavers in grey love laces, ye go to lands unknown and void of breath, drawn by the rumor of the dance of death. From Sin's cold keys to Ganges' burning stream, the mortal troops dance onward in a dream. They do not see within the open sky the angel's sinister trumpet raised on high. In every clime and under every sun, death laughs at ye, mad mortals, as ye run, and oft perfumes herself with myrrh like ye, and mingles with your madness irony. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Thank you for listening.
The Day Before I Die by Henry Lawson. Read at LibriVox.org by Glenn O'Brien. www.glennobrien.net. There's such a lot of work to do for such a child head. I'm scribbling this against a book with full script wound in bed. It strikes me that I'll scribble much in this way by and by, and write my last lines, so perchance the day before I die. There's lots of things to come and go in Nightingale's rhyme, and drink and love it aids the most, I've wasted lots of time. There's so much good work to be done, it makes me sure that I will be the sorriest for my death the day before I die. But live me, dear, for I am tired, and let me taste the wine, and lay your cheek a little while on this white cheek of mine. I want to say I love you so, your patient love is why I'll have such little time, you know, the day before I die. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Exequy by Henry King. Read for LibriVox.org by Thomas Copeland. The Exequy. Accept, thou shrine of my dead saint, instead of dirges this complaint, and for sweet flowers to crown thy hearse, receive a strew of weeping verse from thy grieved friend, whom thou mightst see quite melted into tears for thee. Dear loss, since thy untimely fate, my task hath been to meditate on thee, on thee. Thou art the book, the library whereon I look, though almost blind. For thee, loved clay, I languish out, not live the day, using no other exercise but what I practice with mine eyes, by which wet glasses I find out how lazily time creeps about to one that mourns. This, only this, my exercise and business is. So I compute the weary hours, with sighs dissolve it into showers. No wonder if my time go thus backward and most preposterous. Thou hast benighted me. Thy set this eve of blackness did beget, who wast my day, though overcast before thou hadst thy noontide past. And I remember must in tears, thou scarce hadst seen so many years as day tells hours. By thy clear sun my love and fortune first did run, but thou wilt never more appear folded within my hemisphere, since both thy light and motion like a fled star is fall'n and gone, and twixt me and my soul's dear wish the earth now interposed is, which such a strange eclipse doth make as ne'er was read in almanac. I could allow thee for a time to darken me in my sad clime. Were it a month, a year, or 10, I would thy exile live till then, and all that space my mirth adjourn, so thou wouldst promise to return, and putting off thy ashy shroud, at length disperse this sorrow's cloud. But woe is me, the longest date too narrow is to calculate these empty hopes. Never shall I be so much blessed as to descry a glimpse of thee, till that day come, which shall the earth to cinders doom, and a fierce fever must calcine the body of this world, like thine, my little world. That fit of fire once off, our bodies shall aspire to our soul's bliss. Then we shall rise and view ourselves with clearer eyes, in that calm region where no night can hide us from each other's sight. Meantime thou hast her, earth, much good may my harm do thee. Since it stood with heaven's will I might not call her longer mine, I give thee all my short-lived right and interest in her whom living I loved best. With a most free and bounteous grief I give thee what I could not keep. Be kind to her, and prithee look thou write into thy doomsday book each parcel of this rarity which in thy casket shrined doth lie. See that thou make thy reckoning straight, and yield her back again by weight, for thou must audit on thy trust each grain and atom of this dust, as thou wilt answer him that lent, not gave thee my dear monument. So close the ground, and 'bout her shade black curtains draw. My bride is laid. Sleep on, my love, in thy cold bed, never to be disquieted. My last good night. Thou wilt not wake till I thy fate shall overtake, till age, or grief, or sickness must marry my body to that dust it so much loves, and fill the room my heart keeps empty in thy tomb. Stay for me there. I will not fail to meet thee in that hollow vale. And think not much of my delay. I am already on the way, and follow thee with all the speed desire can make or sorrows breed. Each minute is a short degree, and every hour a step towards thee. At night, when I betake to rest, next morn I rise nearer my west of life, almost by 8 hours' sail, than when sleep breathed his drowsy gale. Thus from the sun my bottom steers, and my day's compass downward bears. Nor labour I to stem the tide, through which to thee I swiftly glide. 'Tis true, with shame and grief I yield Thou like the van first took'st the field, and gotten hast the victory, in thus adventuring to die before me, whose more years might crave a just precedence in the grave. But hark, my pulse, like a soft drum, beats my approach, tells thee I come, and slow howe'er my marches be, I shall at last sit down by thee. The thought of this bids me go on, and wait my dissolution with hope and comfort. Dear, forgive the crime. I am content to live divided, with but half a heart, till we shall meet and never part. Notes: the Exequy. This beautiful poem, which bore in Hannah's manuscript the subtitle, itself not unmemorable, "To his matchless, never-to-be-forgotten friend," makes, with Tell Me No More, King's chief claim to poetic rank. It is not, he never is, splendid, or strange, or soul-shaking, but for simplicity, sincerity, tenderness, and grace, nay, as the time went, nature, it has in its modest way not many superiors. Versions are found in Ashmole Manuscript 36, folio 253, and Rawlinson Poetic Manuscript 160, folio 41, verso. Line 36, the. All three manuscripts read an, which, considering the obvious double meaning of earth, is perhaps better. Line 67-68, assonance, though not elsewhere unknown, is not common in King. Line 81 and following, if the last paragraph has seemed to any to approach false wit, this ought to make amends, and so with the conclusion. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
God Save the Flag by Oliver Wendell Holmes. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Washed in the blood of the brave and the blooming, snatched from the altars of insolent foes, burning with star fires, but never consuming, flash its broad ribbons of lily and rose. Vainly the prophets of Baal would rend it, vainly his worshippers pray for its fall. Thousands have died for it, millions defend it, emblem of justice and mercy to all. Justice that reddens the sky with her terrors, mercy that comes with her white-handed train, soothing all passions, redeeming all errors, sheathing the saber and breaking the chain. Born on the deluge of old usurpations, drifted our ark o'er the desolate seas. bearing the rainbow of hope to the nations, torn from the storm cloud and flung to the breeze. God bless the flag and its loyal defenders, while its broad folds o'er the battlefield wave, till the dim star wreath rekindle its splendors, washed from its stains in the blood of the brave. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He'd a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of the claret velvet, and breeches of brown doeskin. They fitted with never a wrinkle, his boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jewelled twinkle, his pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle, under the jewelled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed in the dark inn-yard, and he tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love-knot into her long black hair. And dark in the dark old inn-yard a stable wicket creaked, where Tim the ostler listened. His face was white and peaked. His eyes were hollows of madness, his hair like mouldy hay. But he loved the landlord's daughter, the landlord's red-lipped daughter. Dumb as a dog he listened, and he heard the robber say, "One kiss, my bonny sweetheart, I'm after a prize tonight, but I shall be back with the yellow gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply and harry me through the day, then look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." He rose upright in the stirrups. He scarce could reach her hand, but she loosened her hair in the casement. His face burnt like a brand as the black cascade of perfume came tumbling over his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight. Oh, sweet black waves in the moonlight. Then he tugged at his rein in the moonlight and galloped away to the west. He did not come in the dawning. He did not come at noon. And out of the tawny sunset, before the rise of the moon, when the road was a gypsy's ribbon looping the purple moor, a red-coat troop came marching, marching, marching. King George's men came marching up to the old inn door. They said no word to the landlord, they drank his ale instead. But they gagged his daughter, and bound her to the foot of her narrow bed. Two of them knelt at her casement, with muskets at their side. There was death at every window, and hell at one dark window, for Bess could see, through her casement, the road that he would ride. They had tied her up to attention, with many a sniggering jest. They had bound a musket beside her, with a barrel beneath her breast. "Now keep good watch," and they kissed her. She heard the dead man say, "Look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." She twisted her hands behind her, but all the knots held good. She writhed her hands till her fingers were wet with sweat or blood. They stretched and strained in the darkness, and the hours crawled by like years, till now on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of one finger touched it. The trigger, at least, was hers. The tip of one finger touched it. She strove no more for the rest. Up she stood to attention, with the barrel beneath her breast. She would not risk their hearing. She would not strive again, for the road lay bare in the moonlight, blank and bare in the moonlight, and the blood of her veins in the moonlight throbbed to her love's refrain. Had they heard it, the horse hoofs ringing clear? In the distance, were they deaf that they did not hear? Down the ribbon of moonlight, over the brow of the hill, the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The redcoats looked to their priming. She stood up, straight and still. In the frosty silence, in the echoing night, nearer he came and nearer. Her face was like a light. Her eyes grew wide for a moment. She drew one last deep breath. Then her finger moved in the moonlight. Her musket shattered the moonlight, shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death. He turned, he spurred to the west. He did not know who stood bowed with her head o'er the musket, drenched with her own red blood. Not till the dawn he heard it. His face grew grey to hear how Bess, the landlord's daughter, the landlord's black-eyed daughter, had watched for her love in the moonlight and died in the darkness there. Back he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white road smoking behind him and his rapier brandished high. Blood-red were his spurs in the golden noon, wine-red was his velvet coat when they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway, and he lay in his blood on the highway with a bunch of lace at his throat. And still of a winter's night, they say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas, when the road is a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, a highwayman comes riding, 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 a highwayman comes riding up to the old inn door. Over the cobbles he clatters and clangs in the dark inn-yard. He taps with his whip on the shutters, but all is locked and barred. He whistles a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love-knot into her long black hair. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. How Do I Love Thee? Sonnet 43 by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight for the ends of being and ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Hymn of Peace by Oliver Wendell Holmes. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Angel of peace, thou hast wandered too long. Spread thy white wings to the sunshine of love. Come, while our voices are blended in song. Fly to our ark like the storm-beaten dove. Fly to our ark on the wings of the dove. Speed o'er the far-sounding billows of song, crowned with thine olive-leaf garland of love. Angel of peace, thou hast waited too long. Joyous we meet on this altar of thine, mingling the gifts we have gathered for thee, sweet with the odors of myrtle and pine, breeze of the prairie and breath of the sea, meadow and mountain, and forest, and sea. Sweet is the fragrance of myrtle and pine, sweeter the incense we offer to thee. brothers, once more round this altar of thine. Angels of Bethlehem, answer the strain. Hark! A new birth song is filling the sky. Loud as the storm wind that tumbles the main, bid the full breath of the organ reply. Let the loud tempest of voices reply. Roll its long surge like the earth-shaking main. Swell the vast song till it mounts to the sky. Angels of Bethlehem, echo the strain. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. Read for LibriVox.org by N.J. Thompson. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, that stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay, 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not be but gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth to me the show had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Jephtha's Daughter by Lord Byron. Read for LibriVox.org by DomBombadil. Since our country, our God, O my sire, demand that thy daughter expire, since thy triumph was brought by thy vow, strike the bosom that's bared for thee now. And the voice of my mourning is sour, and the mountains behold me no more. The hand that I love lay me low, there cannot be pain in the blow. And of this, O my Father, be sure, that the blood of thy child is as pure as the blessing I beg ere it flow, and the last thought that soothe me below. Though the virgins of Salem lament, be the judge and the hero unbent. I have won the great battle for thee, and my father and country are free. When this blood of thy giving hath gushed, when the voice that thou lovest is hushed, let my memory still be thy pride, and forget not, I smiled as I died. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Lady Clare by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Read for LibriVox.org by DomBombadil. It was the time when lilies blow, and clouds are highest up in air. Lord Ronald brought a lily-white doe to give his cousin, Lady Clare. I trow they did not part in scorn, lovers long betrothed were they. They two will wed the morrow morn, God's blessing on the day. He does not love me for my birth, nor for my land so broad and fair. He loves me for my own true worth, and that is well, said Lady Clare. In there came old Alice the nurse, said, Who was this that went from thee? It was my cousin, said Lady Clare. Tomorrow he weds with me. O God be thanked, said Alice the nurse, that all comes round so just and fair. Lord Ronald is heir to all your lands, and you are not the Lady Clare. "Are you out of your mind, my nurse, my nurse?" said Lady Clare, "that you speak so wild?" "As God's above," said Alice the nurse, "I speak the truth. You are my child. The old Earl's daughter died at my breast. I speak the truth, as I live by bread. I buried her like my own sweet child, and put my child in her stead." "Falsely, falsely have ye done, O mother," she said, "if this be true, to keep the best man under the sun so many years from his due." "Nay now, my child," said Alice the nurse, "but keep the secret for your life, and all you have will be Lord Ronald's when you are man and wife." "If I'm a beggar born," she said, "I will speak out, for I dare not lie. Pull off the brooch of gold, and fling the diamond necklace by." "Nay now, my child," said Alice the nurse, "but keep the secret all ye can." She said, "Not so, but I will know if there be any faith in man." "Nay now, what faith?" said Alice the nurse. "The man will cleave unto his right." "And he shall have it," the lady replied, "though I should die to-night. Yet give one kiss to your mother, dear. Alas, my child, I sinned for thee." "O mother, mother, mother," she said, "so strange it seems to me. Yet here's a kiss for my mother dear, my mother dear, if this be so. And lay your hand upon my head, and bless me, mother, ere I go." She clad herself in a russet gown. She was no longer Lady Clare. She went by dale and she went by down, with a single rose in her hair. The lily-white doe Lord Ronald had brought leapt up from where she lay, dropped her head in the maiden's hand, and followed her all the way. Down stepped Lord Ronald from his tower. "O Lady Clare, you shame your worth. Why come you dressed like a village maid, that are the flower of the earth?" "If I come dressed like a village maid, I am but as my fortunes are. I am a beggar born," she said, "and not the Lady Clare." "Play me no tricks," said Lord Ronald, "for I am yours in word and in deed." "Play me no tricks," said Lord Ronald, "your riddle is hard to read." And proudly stood she up. Her heart within her did not fail. She looked into Lord Ronald's eyes, and told him all her nurse's tale. He laughed a laugh of merry scorn. He turned and kissed her where she stood. "If you are not, the heir is born, and I," said he, "the next in blood. If you are not, the heir is born, and I," said he, "the lawful heir. We two will wed to-morrow morn, and you shall still be Lady Clare." End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Mahogany-Tree by William Makepeace Thackeray. Read for LibriVox.org by Faith Pack. Christmas is here, winds whistle shrill, icy and chill, little care we. Little we fear weather without, sheltered about the mahogany-tree. Once on the boughs, birds of rare plume sang in its bloom. Night-birds are we, here we carouse, singing like them, perched round the stem of the jolly old tree. Here let us sport, boys, as we sit, laughter and wit flashing so free. Life is but short, when we are gone, let them sing on, round the old tree. Evenings we knew, happy as this, faces we miss, pleasant to see, kind hearts and true, gentle and just, peace to your dust, we sing round the tree. Care, like a dun, lurks at the gate. Let the dog wait. Happy we'll be. Drink, every one. Pile up the coals, fill the red bowls, round the old tree. Drain we the cup. Friend, art afraid? Spirits are laid in the Red Sea. Mantle it up, empty it yet. Let us forget, round the old tree. Sorrows, begone! Life and its ills, duns and their bills, bid we to flee. Come with the dawn, blue devil sprite, leave us to-night, round the old tree. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Men We Might Have Been by Henry Lawson. Read for LibriVox.org by Son of the Exiles. When God's wrath cloud is o'er me, affrighting heart and mind, when days seem dark before me, and days seem black behind, those friends who think they know me, who deem their insight keen, they ne'er forget to show me the man I might have been. He's rich and independent, or rising fast to fame. His bright star is ascendant, the country knows his name. His houses and his gardens are splendid to be seen. His fault the wise world pardons, the man I might have been. His fame and fortune haunt me, his virtues wave me back, his name and prestige daunt me when I would take the track. But you, my friend true-hearted, God keep our friendship green, you know how I was parted from all I might have been. But what avails to ache of remorse or weak regret? We'll battle for the sake of the men we might be yet. We'll strive to keep in sight of the brave, the true and clean, and triumph yet in spite of the men we might have been. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
On Monsieur's Departure, attributed to Queen Elizabeth I. Read for LibriVox.org by Shakira Searle. December 2014. I grieve and dare not show my discontent. I love and yet am forced to seem to hate. I do, yet dare not say I ever meant. I seem stark mute, but inwardly do prate. I am and not, I freeze and yet am burned, since from myself another self I turned. My care is like my shadow in the sun, follows me flying, flies when I pursue it, stands and lies by me, doth what I have done. His too familiar care doth make me rue it. No means I find to rid him from my breast, till by the end of things it be suppressed. Some gentler passion slide into my mind, for I am soft and made of melting snow. Or be more cruel, love, and so be kind. Let me float or sink, be high or low, or let me live with some more sweet content, or die, and so forget what love e'er meant. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
On the Morning of Christ's Nativity by John Milton. Read for LibriVox by Peter Tucker. This is the month, and this the happy morn, wherein the Son of Heaven's eternal King, of wedded maid and virgin mother born, our great redemption from above did bring. For so the holy sages once did sing, that he our deadly forfeit should release, and with his Father work us a perpetual peace. That glorious form, that light unsufferable, and that far-beaming blaze of majesty, wherewith he wont at heaven's high council table to sit in the midst of trinal unity, he laid aside, and here with us to be, forsook the courts of everlasting day, and chose with us a darksome house of mortal clay. Say, heavenly Muse, shall not thy sacred vein afford a present to the infant God? Hast thou no verse, no hymn, or solemn strain, to welcome him to this his new abode, now while the heaven, by the sun's team untrod, hath took no print of the approaching light, and all the spangled host keep watch in squadrons bright? See how from far upon the eastern road the star-led wizards haste with odours sweet. O run, prevent them with thy humble ode, and lay it lowly at his blessed feet. Have thou the honour first thy Lord to greet, and join thy voice unto the angel choir, from out his secret altar touched with hallowed fire. The Hymn. It was the winter wild, while the heaven-born child all meanly wrapped in the rude manger lies. Nature in awe to him had doffed her gaudy trim, with her great master so to sympathize. It was no season then for her to wanton with the sun, her lusty paramour. Only with speeches fair she wooed the gentle air, to hide her guilty front with innocent snow, and on her naked shame pollute with sinful blame the saintly veil of maiden white to throw, confounded that her Maker's eyes should look so near upon her foul deformities. But he her fears to cease sent down the meek-eyed Peace. She, crowned with olive green, came softly sliding down through the turning sphere his ready harbinger, with turtle wing the amorous clouds dividing, and waving wide her myrtle wand, she strikes a universal peace through sea and land. No war or battle's sound was heard the world around, the idle spear and shield were high up hung. The hooked chariots stood unstained with hostile blood, the trumpet spake not to the armed throng, and kings sat still with awful eye, as if they surely knew their sovereign lord was by. But peaceful was the night wherein the Prince of Light his reign of peace upon the earth began. The winds with wonder whist, smoothly the waters kissed, whispering new joys to the mild ocean, who now hath quite forgot to rave, while birds of calm sit brooding on the charmed wave. The stars with deep amaze stand fit in steadfast gaze, bending one way their precious influence, and will not take their flight for all the morning light, or Lucifer that often warned them thence, but in their glimmering orbs did glow, until their Lord himself bespake, and bid them go. And though the shady gloom had given day her room, the sun himself withheld his wonted speed, and hid his head for shame, as his inferior flame the new enlightened world no more should need. He saw a greater sun appear than his bright throne, or burning axle-tree, could bear. The shepherds on the lawn, or ere the point of dawn, sat simply chatting in a rustic row. Full little thought they then, that the mighty Pan was kindly come to live with them below. Perhaps their loves, or else their sheep, was all that did their silly thoughts so busy keep. When such music sweet their hearts and ears did greet, as never was by mortal finger strook, divinely warbled voice answering the stringed noise, as all their souls in blissful rapture took. The air such pleasure loath to lose, with thousand echoes still prolongs each heavenly close. Nature, that heard such sound beneath the hollow round of Cynthia's seat, the airy region thrilling, now was almost won to think her part was done, and that her reign had here its last fulfilling. She knew such harmony alone could hold all heaven and earth in happier union. At last surrounds their sight a globe of circular light, that with long beams the shamefaced night arrayed. The helmed cherubim and sworded seraphim are seen in glittering ranks with wings displayed, harping in loud and solemn choir with unexpressive notes to heaven's new-born air. Such music, as 'tis said, before was never made, but when of old the sons of morning sung, while the Creator great his constellations set, and the well-balanced world on hinges hung, and cast the dark foundations deep, and bid the weltering waves their oozy channel keep. Ring out, ye crystal spheres, once bless our human ears, if ye have power to touch our senses so, and let your silver chime move in melodious time, and let the bass of heaven's deep organ blow, and with your ninefold harmony make up full consort to the angel-like symphony. For if such holy song enwrap our fancy long, time will run back and fetch the age of gold, and speckled vanity will sicken soon and die, and leprous sin will melt from earthly mould, and hell itself will pass away, and leave her dolorous mansions to the peering day. Yea, truth and justice then will down return to men, th' enamelled arras of the rainbow wearing, and mercy set between, throned in celestial sheen, with radiant feet the tissued clouds down steering, and heaven as at some festival will open wide the gates of her high palace hall. But wisest fate says no, this must not yet be so, the babe lies yet in smiling infancy, that on the bitter cross must redeem our loss, so both himself and us to glorify. Yet first to those chained in sleep the wakeful trump of doom must thunder through the deep, with such a horrid clang as on Mount Sinai rang while the red fire and smouldering clouds outbreak. The aged earth aghast with terror of that blast shall from the surface to the centre shake, when at the world's last session the dreadful judge in middle air shall spread his throne. And then at last our bliss full and perfect is, but now begins, for from this happy day th' old dragon underground in straiter limits bound, not half so far casts his usurped sway, and wroth to see his kingdom fail, swings the scaly horror of his folded tail. The oracles are dumb, no voice or hideous hum runs through the arched roof in words deceiving. Apollo from his shrine can no more divine, with hollow shriek the steep of Delphos leaving. No nightly trance or breathed spell inspires the pale-eyed priest from the prophetic cell. The lonely mountains o'er, and the resounding shore, a voice of weeping heard, and loud lament. From haunted spring and dale, edged with poplar pale, the parting genius is with sighing sent. With flower inwoven tresses torn, the nymphs in twilight shade of tangled thickets mourn. In consecrated earth and on the holy hearth the Lars and lemurs moan with midnight plaint. In urns and altars round a drear and dying sound affrights the flamens at their service quaint, and the chill marble seems to sweat while each peculiar power forgoes his wonted seat. Peor and Baalim forsake their temples dim, and that twice battered god of Palestine, and mooned Ashtaroth, heaven's queen and mother both, now sits not girt with tapers' holy shine. The Libyc Hammon shrinks his horn, in vain the Tyrian maids their wounded Thammuz mourn. And sullen Moloch fled, hath left in shadows dread his burning idol all of blackest hue. In vain with cymbals ring they call the grisly king, in dismal dance about the furnace blue. And brutish gods of Nile as fast Isis and Horus, and the dog Anubis hast. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Piano by D.H. Lawrence. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. Softly in the dusk a woman is singing to me, taking me back down the vista of years, till I see a child sitting under the piano, in the boom of the tingling strings, and pressing the small, poised feet of a mother, who smiles as she sings. In spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back, till the heart of me weeps to belong to the old Sunday evenings at home, with winter outside, and hymns in the cozy parlor, the tinkling piano our guide. So now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamor with the great black piano appassionato. The glamour of childish days is upon me. My manhood is cast down in the flood of remembrance. I weep like a child for the past. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Stone Broke by A. H. Beasley. Read for LibriVox.org by Garth Burton. 2 battered hurdles, a heap of stones, a hayband wrapping the hurdles' bones, a sack in tatters, and in it thrust straw half rotten, and grass half dust. There through the autumn a grey old man began to hammer ere day began. And there, while lingered a ray of light, he sat and hammered from dawn till night. And through December he hammered still, though cold, and ragged, and old, and ill. The house? No, better to die instead, or go on living on nought but bread. And so through all of the long, grim frost he worked, as grimly, counting the cost. The windy wayside was bare and bleak, the icy east blew, week after week. His eyes grew dimmer, his back more bent, slower and slower his hammer went. But he hammered early, he hammered late, till his heap had gathered to yonder gate. He hammered, hammered till all was done, the whole heap finished to its last stone. The last stone broken, he did not stir, he seemed a watcher or listener. He sat, nor heeded the cold snows blown, his own heart broken, himself a stone. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Strictly Germproof by Arthur Guiterman. Read for LibriVox.org by Algy. The antiseptic baby and the prophylactic pup were playing in the garden when the bunny gambolled up. They looked upon the creature with a loathing undisguised. It wasn't disinfected, and it wasn't sterilized. They said it was a microbe in a hotbed of disease. They steamed it in a vapour of 1,000-odd degrees. They froze it in a freezer that was cold as banished hope, and washed it in permanganate with carbolated soap. In sulphurated hydrogen they steeped its wiggly ears. They trimmed its frisky whiskers with a pair of hard-boiled shears. They donned their rubber mittens, and they took it by the hand, and elected it a member of the fumigated band. There's not a micrococcus in the garden where they play. They bathe in pure iodoform 12 times a day, and each imbibes his rations from a hygienic cup, the bunny and the baby, and the prophylactic pup. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To a Common Prostitute by Walt Whitman. Read for LibriVox.org by Pyle. Be composed, be at ease with me. I am Walt Whitman, liberal and lusty as nature. Not till the sun excludes you do I exclude you. Not till the waters refuse to glisten for you and the leaves to rustle for you do my words refuse to glisten and rustle for you. My girl, I appoint you with an appointment, and I charge you that you make preparation to be worthy to meet me, and I charge you that you be patient and perfect till I come. Till then I salute you with a significant look that you do not forget me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Thank you for listening. Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Read for LibriVox.org by Pyle. It little profits that an idle king, by this still hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I mete and dole unequal laws unto a savage race. that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. I cannot rest from travel, I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone, on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy Hyades vexed the dim sea. I am become a name, for always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an arch wherethrough gleams that untraveled world, whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me, little remains. But every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things. And vile it were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this gray spirit yearning and desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost bound of human thought. This is my son, mine own Telemachus, to whom I leave this sceptre and the isle. Well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, decent not to fail in offices of tenderness, and pay meet adoration to my household gods when I am gone. He works his work, I mine. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail, there gloom the dark broad seas. My mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads. You and I are old, old age hath yet his honor and his toil, death closes all, but something ere the end, some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs. The deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset, and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts made weak by time and fate, but strong in will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Thank you for listening.
Uphill by Christina Rossetti. Read for LibriVox.org by Lucy Perry. Does the road wind uphill all the way? Yes, to the very end. Will the day's journey take the whole long day? From morn to night, my friend. But is there for the night a resting place? A roof, for when the slow, dark hours begin? May not the darkness hide it from my face? You cannot miss that inn. Shall I meet other wayfarers at night? Those who have gone before. Then must I knock or call when just in sight? They will not keep you waiting at that door. Shall I find comfort, travel sore and weak? Of labour you shall find the sum. Will there be beds for me and all who seek? Yea, beds for all who come. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sonnet V from 8 Sonnets. What lips my lips have kissed, by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Read for LibriVox.org by Shakira Searle. December 2014. What lips my lips have kissed, and where, and why, I have forgotten, and what arms have lain under my head till morning, but the rain is full of ghosts tonight, that tap and sigh upon the glass, and listen for reply, and in my heart there stirs a quiet pain for unremembered lads who not again will turn to me at midnight with a cry. Thus in the winter stands the lonely tree, nor knows what birds have vanished one by one, yet knows its boughs more silent than before. I cannot say what loves have come and gone. I only know that summer sang in me a little while, that in me sings no more. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.